The importance of this topic for the region is clear. There is a progressive move towards European convergence, which will require countries to meet their obligations under fiscal rules such as deficit and debt, and those they will only be able to meet over the medium term. In fact, many of the countries are undergoing fiscal consolidation and fiscal rationalization, and many of the decisions that are taken will only have an impact in the medium term. It takes several years to implement rationalization. It takes several years to find saving measures, and even when devising new spending initiatives to align the country to European Union requirements, those new spending measures initiatives will also take several years to be implemented. Therefore, the medium-term framework for the budget remains a very important issue, and that has led many of the countries to put more effort and emphasis on their medium-term frameworks. However, it's important to understand that the medium-term budget framework is not just a matter of numbers, it's also a matter of rules and systems and procedures that will underpin and provide a framework in which the budget is to be formulated. And for that to happen, the medium-term budget framework requires a much more participatory approach if it is to be successful. And this is one of the areas that we're going to be exploring during this workshop, and particularly how the medium-term budget framework is put together in collaboration with the line ministries, the spending priorities of line ministries. The benefits of medium-term frameworks are well known. They are intended to provide better control over the evolution of aggregate fiscal positions, so this is important for the implementation of fiscal rules. We will discuss fiscal rules and their application, if you like, in the European context. It's important for more effective allocation of expenditure between sectors and the priorities of government. If there is to be many of those decisions involve reallocation, and that reallocation can only be done over time. And it is important to induce in budget managers the sense of more efficient use of resources so as to create space for new spending initiatives. For this, there is a need to ensure that a better coherence between medium-term objectives and the budget allocations, and to also ensure that the budget is produced in a more comprehensive manner, taking into account all the kinds of resources that will fund public services, and that includes resources from the EU, for example, and other donors. And this will also require enhanced accountability and transparency in the use of those resources, and better oversight mechanisms such as from fiscal councils. So we'll also look at what is required to be presented in a medium-term budget framework from a fiscal council's perspective, and get a fiscal council's view on MTBFs. The agenda of the workshop will include some practical work, so it will allow you as participants to actually roll up your sleeves and think about how you would create, if you like, a medium-term budget framework for a fictitious country setting. We'll use some real numbers, and we'll ask you to put some thinking into making proposals for the establishment of an MTBF. So hopefully you will get some hands-on experience, and we expect that the discussions on medium-term budget frameworks will also be highly interactive, and that you will be providing experience from your own countries on what has worked and what has not worked, because there are many, many challenges facing medium-term budget frameworks currently, particularly within the region, particularly when there is a lack of certainty over future forecasts, which clearly undermines the assurance of funding to budget institutions, and it removes the incentive for budget institutions to really get properly involved in the process of setting up medium-term budget frameworks. We hope that we've put together an interesting agenda with interesting contributions from a variety of different perspectives, and we look forward to welcoming you at this workshop that is going to take place in May.